don't want what we know out there.
How a person can go from really almost nothing to becoming a millionaire by owning rental properties.
He would always buy these flip houses, and I just remember thinking, this guy is crazy. Why would he buy that house?
In the past decade, there's been a huge surge in the peer-to-peer short-term rental market.
Become an insider. So you have to know the rules before you get the game.
Every second counts. So make every second count.
Welcome to the Real Estate Jam. Whether you're just beginning or the best of the best, we're glad you're here. We will share successes, failures, and strategies for the action-taking real estate investor. And now to your hosts, JD, Annabelle, and Melissa.
Hey guys, welcome to the Real Estate Jam podcast. I'm JD with my wonderful co-host,
Melissa. Thank you. Thank you so much, JD.
No worries, Melissa. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, we kind of a last minute thing decided we were going to make it to the quarterly mastermind meeting. And Melissa did a ton of work to get us there quickly. And today we want to talk about some of our takeaways, some of the things that we got out of the mastermind meeting this go. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So as well as I am a headset orderer, I am also a travel agent as well.
Yeah, Melissa's a travel agent. Mm-hmm. She was able to find us plane tickets, book a hotel room, everything last minute. When did we decide that we were going to be going?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yep.
And
Saturday.
And so in between, and we had to be there by
Wednesday.
So from Saturday to Wednesday, mm-hmm. Melissa was able to pull it all together and get us our hotel rooms, which I don't know. Mine had a great view. Did yours?
Yes, it was wonderful. I loved it. Yep. And it had a really great shower in bed too.
Oh, well, good.
It was great.
I'm glad.
And good AC and good food and good drinks. It was just like the full package, right?
Yeah, it was. And actually it was a really nice, it was the mastermind was in Austin this time. It was at the Marriott, and they had a really good restaurant and bar downstairs, and
which is always very important in masterminds.
Well, yeah, and my favorite part of the entire mastermind was probably the rooftop pool, mm-hmm. Which that was pretty fun. I got super sunburned though, but that was the first day. And then after we went to the pool that first day, we really got down to business. We had a meet and greet that night where we got to see all of our friends, and a lot of the people that are active members of this mastermind were part of the beginning stages of the mastermind. So they came in right when the mastermind first started, like we did. And so it's really nice to see everybody. And I think one of the most important things about the mastermind is bringing in people that you're not competing with in your daily market to one area. And then you can actually appreciate the wins that they have, and you can see their growth, from the very beginning months 2 years ago to where they're at now, and the way their businesses has changed and evolved, and the way that they've implemented different things is one, it's good to know that there's somebody else in the struggle with you, fighting the good fight, but it's also good to be able to celebrate with people who want you to succeed, and
Totally agree. And then there's always the couple people who success just comes super easy, and they're not even running numbers or anything, and they're just doing 700,000 in a quarter.
26-year-old kid that does 27 or 720 mm-hmm. something $1,000 in flips in 3 months. And
I'm not sure what we can bring to the table for that.
No, we can, because he is good, and mm-hmm. he's an action taker. But he needs support, and he needs people that understand the struggles too, because I guarantee the majority of his peer group isn't thinking about the same things that he's thinking about. And he needs that group to be able to share his struggles and triumphs just the same as we do.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that they set us up for in this mastermind is we had to go and look at all of our KPI, our key performance indicators for the previous quarter. And we were looking at how many leads we got, what our cost per lead was, how many appointments we got, what our cost per appointment was, contracts, and then closed deals. And we got to see, and we put it on a spreadsheet, and each person got to each group got to go up and brief that to everybody else and talk about some of the struggles and some of the challenges, as well as, what you've changed or what you've done right in your business. And then you're standing in front of everybody, and, there's, I don't know, maybe like 25 or 30 people in the room. And each of them has their own business experience and expertise, and they're able to provide feedback to you. And I think that's probably the most beneficial part, is being able to put your problems out there and also your successes, and get to see what other people think about your business and the way you guys are doing things, and how you attack your problems from a different perspective is pretty amazing.
Yeah, I like that, but it made me feel better when we were there, because I didn't think our numbers were that great. But then we were one of the first people presenting, and so as after us, I was like, oh, our numbers are really shitty. But then everybody else, so we seem to be falling right in there. So I was happy about that, but JD was a little butthurt, and he didn't feel like our presentation, or it was really JD's presentation, and I just stand there and shake my head like this. And so he was not happy with, we didn't feel like we articulated exactly what we were doing, especially like related to the retail side of the business.
Right. Yeah, I definitely, so I gave my presentation, but then based off the feedback and the questions that we were getting from the people in the room, I realized that I didn't do a good job of articulating the way that our business really was, and the way that the roles and responsibilities between me and Melissa are really broken down. So we got some feedback that maybe wasn't directly relevant to the actual situation. And then later on, though, there were other people that were able to express their problems in the way that I wish I would have been able to. And there was feedback given to them that I think directly applies to us and the way we operate our business. And I'm not really sure, that's probably something I need to do some self-reflection on how to better communicate the message that I was trying to, and instead of the message that I did. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that.
And being grouchy.
Well, and being grouchy. I'm not a grouchy person, but anytime you receive negative feedback, and nobody likes to be told they're doing something wrong or whatever. So grouchy isn't what I would say I was. I would say that I was trying to think about how that applies to me, and what it is that I can do better. Because that's really, at the end of the day, you need somebody that can tell you the hard truth. And if you're messing up, they need to be able to hold you accountable. Melissa's really good at holding me accountable, and really good at holding herself accountable. I'm not sure who else she holds accountable, but
It's my full-time job for holding JD accountable.
That's right. But it does help us. I don't know. What were some of the other takeaways that you had, Melissa?
So what I stated earlier about that it made me feel better, because I thought we were so behind on our numbers for where we were at. So that was one thing. And then I really liked about Hillary talking about how to convert more of your retail leads into potentially private money. Yeah. So I was like, man, I didn't even get that. And I never ever thought about that.
Let's break that down for a little bit. So Hillary is another person that is in the mastermind. She's been there the whole time, her and her husband and wife team. And they do a really good job. And what she said is that because she's an agent, she meets all these people who are selling their houses or buying other houses. And instead of just, sending them a nice thank you card and being done with it, if you really build that relationship between you and the seller, and then you can ask them questions about, hey, well, what are you doing with this money? Why are you selling the house? What's the reason that you're selling this house? And where are you going to put this cash? And if they're not going to put that cash money that they're getting into another property, then they're going to have it sitting there in the bank. And then if you can explain to them that, the time value of money goes down, and that inflation eats away your profits, and that if you can make a moderate to decent return, you're going to be wealthier for longer. It's just a really good, and plus it's a person that you've already built the trust with, because they're letting you sell their house. They're a regular retail client, so they're probably not turning that over into their other real estate investments. And it's a really good way to at least build that relationship.
Yeah, I thought that was just
genius.
Yes, I mean, it was genius, and I couldn't believe we hadn't thought about that before. So that was a huge takeaway for me. I'm like,
Yeah, that was really good. All the 1031.
Oh, yeah.
I had a
The
complete
1031.
paradigm shift on my mentality about 1031 exchanges. One of the other guys that's there, he's a big investor in California, and he was sharing with us that because what the majority of the room was saying is that people are paying ridiculous prices for investment properties right now. And what he came and said was, hey, it doesn't matter if they're paying ridiculous prices. What they're doing is trading up in the 1031 exchange from a property in a lower class type of property. So a property that's not as in good condition or not really it's not as nice of a property into a nicer property, and they're trying to maintain the same gross cash flow. So you're selling off your equity and putting that into a better asset, and you're upgrading your asset. So it's not a short-term play. You might not be getting more cash flow when you 1031 exchange, but the idea is to bring more, to save value and create more value. And I didn't look at that before. I was always only looking at it from what is my current cash flow right now, not what is it going to appreciate it at, not what can I not do now that I'm missing out on this cash flow that I had before. But really what you're trying to do is 1031 it until you get to a point where you're in a big enough property that even if your rate of return is lower, you're still getting more money and you can still live off of that. And you can
that was huge.
Long-term play your properties. We haven't done it yet. We'll see if it's applicable.
We're working on it
to any of our stuff. And I just think it completely changed my mindset.
Yeah.
I think I elevated me from this level to the next level when it comes to analyzing deals and looking at real estate as more of a long-term than the immediate.
Yeah, totally. And then the last day we spent time talking about our 90-day goals before we meet again. So, that's kind of an accountability thing. So we all put those on paper and then they were sent out to us. And so our first one, to me, our first number one was,
well, and this is super important because it's something that we had identified in our challenges. It's something that's been plaguing us really since we very first started investing, and definitely since we started our partnership is that Melissa needs somebody to help her out on some of her real estate stuff, but some of their other business stuff that will help her leverage her time better. And so we're looking for that assistant. We had an assistant and she's great. And she pulled off some things from Melissa. But now we just had her go through her real estate agent license course so that she can start helping with the agent side of things for Melissa. And now she's not going to be able to do the admin stuff as much. So now we're looking for a new admin person. And really, you wouldn't think that needs to be a 90-day goal, but we've already had like 12 interviews scheduled and 0 people show up. So it's a challenge, and we're going to have to put some focused effort on it if we're going to want to see it through.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So that was number one. And then number 2 was,
I got it written down right here. I want to read it the right way.
Okay.
Is build out our Blonde Chicks Buy Houses digital brand so we can start receiving leads. So what we're currently doing is creating another brand that we can reach out and make contact directly with sellers. And it's done a lot in the digital space. So we're going to have it on Facebook. We have it on LinkedIn and not LinkedIn, Instagram. We have websites and email marketing and all this stuff that we're putting into that. And we'd really like to receive some leads in and start working those. And so whatever we have to do to get that up and running, we have a few projects that we got to make sure continue down the path.
But we did that kind of, we tried to build something like totally different than us, right? And so it's Blonde Chicks Buys Houses. And we have just some beautiful girls that are in the front of that, and hoping to pull in some people looking to sell their property from those.
Right. And so my favorite part is that it's Blonde Chicks Buy Houses is who they're going to be talking to. And then I'm going to show up at the front door to buy the house. But Melissa's blonde, so it counts. And Bree's blonde too, so we're good. And then what was the final? The final one was sorry.
What's the final one?
I don't remember. Oh yeah, so we're going to start because when we started investing, we were bringing on brand new acquisitions, people that hadn't been in real estate before. So the position that our company took was that we were not doing one call close. We'd send our person out to either take pictures or talk to the homeowner, and then they come back with the information. Me and Melissa would evaluate the property and then put an offer for them to either go back out there or make the phone call to close. And all of the successful real estate investors that we know are doing the one call close. So we're working on that process. And we just kept that, even though I'm perfectly capable of running the numbers right there on scene. And so is Melissa. It was a default that we do more than one call to close the property. And there's a huge downside in conversions because of that. And so we're really looking to get our conversion rate up, because one of the KPIs that Melissa talked about that we were right on par with everybody is we had, over the last 3 months, we had about 300 leads come into our office. But one of the KPIs that we're not doing that great on was the lead conversion from lead to contract. And so we want to increase that. And one of the ways that we know that can happen is by the one call close.
But wait, did you talk about what the one call close is?
No.
Okay.
No, meaning that you are able to do your property analysis before you get out there, or if it's over the phone, a couple of phone calls. But that when you go out to the property and look at the property, you're able to present an offer right then and there that they can either deny or accept, and then work your stuff from there. And companies that do the one call close, meaning they go out on their appointment and have the documents ready to go right there, are more successful in converting leads than the ones that call and come back and forth and interact multiple times.
And sometimes that's super hard.
Yeah, it is.
To me, it's not as easy as it sounds.
No, it's definitely not as easy. And I guess maybe the idea behind that is if you're doing it like that, then you should only be going to the appointments where the person is ready to make a decision. If they're like, I'm thinking about it, then you probably shouldn't be going out on that appointment at that time.
My only fear in doing that is think that you're going to get them to, you're going to offer too much more money, right?
Right.
So,
well, yeah, that's true. But if we're not worried about either renegotiating or if we make our assumptions and then have our inspection, then that's a little bit, there's some safety nets there. But we always want to do what we say we're going to do. And so when we tell somebody we're going to buy their house for this amount, we would hate to back out of the contract and go that route.
Yep.
Any other takeaways? I think we need to wrap it up. We got some appointments.
Nope, that was it. It was great. We're going to go to Nashville in November.
Yep.
So that'll be super good.
We're going to plan for it now, so it's not a last minute dash to get our plane tickets. Anyways, thanks, Melissa, for being on the show today.
Thanks. Bye. Have a good one.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Jam. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. For more information, check out our website, therealestatejam.com, or find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at The Real Estate Jam. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us an email at therealestatejam@gmail.com. See you next episode.